What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How everybody doing this evening? Welcome back. Welcome back. This is Ball Guys Know It All podcast. I'm John, by the way, and we have our guy Kevin just clicking on. How you doing, Kevin? Just your mic isn't on, Kev. Connect your mic. But this Thursday night we have a great show for you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to us, Kev. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing well. How y'all doing today?
Doing pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Man, we got the elite 1978 Richmond Raider team, the first ever state championship team going down tonight. It's going to be a great show.
Great show. Great. Listen, I'm going to get this commercial out of the way. And with no further ado, we're going to bring these legends on the stage and get some good stories in and learn where the beginning of Raider Magic started. That sound good, Kev?
It sounds like a great goal. Let's get it.
Okay. Let me get this thing going right now.
Attention all Richmond County residents. Are you ready to take your fitness journey to the next level? Introducing online personal training sessions from a hometown native tailored just for you. Whether you prefer one-on-one attention or the camaraderie of group sessions, I've got you covered. DM me or send me an email to bdwall23@gmail.com to get started.
All right, if you're looking to get some online training, hit up Miss Brittany Wall at bdwall23@gmail.com. Hometown girl who's offering training to get in shape and be healthy, all right? I need to call her myself. Email her right here by my screen, bdwall23@gmail.com to get healthy and get in shape, all right?
Big Ball Guys Know It All. I got to jump in there with it, too.
All right, we got one more to go, and then we'll get started. Shout out to ShirtAction.com.
Welcome to Shirt Action in Rockingham, North Carolina, where creativity meets fabric. Discover our custom printed wonders at www.shirtaction.com or call us at 910-997-2610. We're not just a store, we're your partners in design. Unleash your style with our monthly specials, the hottest deals in town. Local or miles away, Shirt Action delivers personalized perfection. Dive into our vibrant world where ideas come to life on fabric. Join the revolution, dial in, or click your way to www.shirtaction.com now and let Shirt Action transform your wardrobe with your custom order today.
Yes, ShirtAction.com for all your Raider gear. Right now we have hoodies on sale for only $20, $19.99. Shop with us, Raiders, everything Raiders, all right? So, Kel, without further ado, let's get my claps together, all right?
Yes.
First up, I'm going to bring to the stage Mr. Chuck Bishop.
Chuck Bishop.
Hey.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. Doing just great. Glad to be here.
Man, we so happy to have you on.
Yeah, man. Excited about Raider football again. That's awesome.
For sure.
Next up, I have, let me get this going right here. I'm sorry, guys. Next up, I have Bishop Patrick L. Wooden Sr. and the coach of the 1978 team, Coach Hal Stewart. And clap for them, everybody. How you guys doing this evening?
Oh, man. I got it ready to get on. I see y'all. Oh, man.
You guys look beautiful, man. God is good.
Beautiful.
Until we're side by side, we might make another halftime speech before this program's over.
So we've been doing the podcast for about a month and a half. It's been going so great. And we've had pretty much everybody on here, but knowing your past, you can't go forward. So you guys, the originators, just want to invite you guys on here and tell your story and give your flowers because you guys started this whole Raider magic and culture of being a Raider and a standard of championship standard. So welcome, guys. Welcome.
Man, we're
honored to be on. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Man, we're definitely more than honored to have you. Like Carter said, y'all started the Raider Magic. Y'all started the culture. This is the birth of it. This is where Richmond County football tradition, this is where it started at. I mean, little old town, Rockingham, North Carolina, and little county of Richmond County, Rockingham, Hamlet, Ellerby, Hoffman, and then just being a part of the Raider elite right now. Just an honor and thrill to have you all on. And I know a lot of people, we always talk about the 88, the 89, the 90, or the 97, 98. But the 78 team, that's what got us here. This is what kicked us off. Starting off Richmond County in the 8s every decade, 78, 88, 98, 2008, right? We missed the 2018, but 78 is what definitely got us here. And we just want to give you guys your flowers, like Carter said, and thank you all so much.
We're honored. It's an honor to be here.
For sure.
So I'll start by asking each one of you guys. I'll start with Mr. Bishop.
Yes.
What part of the county are you from?
Excuse me?
What part of the county are you from?
I was from Hamlet.
Hamlet.
Hamlet, North.
Red Ram.
Uh-huh.
All right. Bishop, how about you, Bishop? Where you from also?
Rockingham and the little Philadelphia section at that.
Hey. little Philly runs
we call
the show.
We call it Philadelphia.
Hey, Coach Hal Stewart, are you originally from the county?
Yes, I was in Hamlet. I live at 91 Terry Street. Coach Whitfield lived right up the street from me, and the Bishop family lived right across the lake that we had there. So
great.
We shared many great moments together.
Red Rams outnumbering the Rockets tonight, 3-2. 3-2.
It's all good. We all Raiders, baby.
We all Raiders. We are. So, guys, tell us about I know because Bishop, I know you have service tonight too as well, and I know we got to get in a couple of things. Carter usually takes us down this timeline and stuff. I hate to jump the ship a little bit because I know the timing and everything. But guys, tell us about that going into that season of Richmond football, that 78 team, that season. Tell us about it.
Well, if I could say this, and it's an honor to sit here with Coach Stewart and to be with Chuck Bishop. The guy's a legend. Bishop is a legend. Just one of the most extraordinary athletes. I'll never forget that touchdown he ran that night. We did our best, but this guy single-handedly broke at least 5 tackles, getting into the end zone. They couldn't bring him down. But what changed to me, the whole culture, and I say this without apology, is when they brought in this man sitting next to me. I find Coach Hal Stewart to be one of the most extraordinary men that I've ever met in my life. I love him. To be honest, guys, I love him like a dad. I'm so grateful that here we are today, these many years later, and it's a big deal for us when I look up in the church and he's in the service. I love to acknowledge him because between him and the late James Henry Turner, those two men fathered me. And see, I had a black dad in Pastor Turner and a white dad in Coach Stewart. And Coach Stewart, he loved us, and he brought to Richmond County, in my opinion, and he had some tough shoes to fill because Coach Ron Crawl was a bad man, but Crawl was no Hal Stewart. Coach brought in a winning culture, and he was very impatient. You had to either learn it or you cut. And he said something that I thought was the most profound thing that I'd ever heard in my life. He announced one day, and it checked me because I was a senior. He said, every senior on the team who is not starting, I'm going to cut you. I'm not going to let you hang around here if you don't start. Me, Mike Rush, Jeff Holiday, Tim Holiday, all of us, Joe Bowersock, all of us realized right then and there that we got to go to work. And this man was hard, he was tough, but he was fair. And he loved us all. I was up there one time, we didn't have a way home. And guys, you won't believe this. Coach Stewart loaned us his car and told me, Preacher Man. As a matter of fact, he's the one who dubbed me Preacher Man.
Preacher Man.
And that moniker has stuck with me from 17 years old to sit here at 62. And I'm still called the Preacher Man. As a matter of fact.
Hey, I got that earlier. I didn't know. I just said it's a word we use right here, I guess.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Oh, snap.
Look at this.
It says Preacher Man.
Preacher Man.
Preacher Man.
Right there.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Now,
so dope,
now
man.
he presented this to me.
Wow.
And so he gave us his car, told me to drive it home. And Chuck would tell you, man, I couldn't drive it straight. The car was a stick shift. I didn't know how to drive it, but I figured out how to drive it that night. But I think that what happened to us is that this man, with Chuck's dad, Coach Bishop, with Coach Rawhoffer, Coach Brown, Coach Young, they brought in a culture under the leadership of Coach Stewart that changed everything. And I think even the succeeding teams, and we applaud them all, but Coach Stewart paved that road. I drove up here tonight I got on the Highway 40, and I drove down also Rock Quarry Road. I drove up Sanderford Road, and guys, guess what? All the roads I rode on, I didn't pave any of them. Somebody else did that. All I had to do was get on the road and drive. Coach Stewart paved the road. And the others, all they had to do is get on the road and drive.
Hey, Kev, one thing about it, boy, that we got Pastor on
Boy, I got hyped up. I'm kind of hyped, bro. I'm kind of hyped right now, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, for real.
Man, I love it.
I feel it in my spirit.
Yes, sir.
You know,
oh,
as a coach myself, smaller little league coach, I run a little program around here. It's the love. You have to love these kids, and the coaches that show these kids love, their love lasts for a lifetime, or as we see generations, man. And it shows what kind of a coach he was, but what kind of a man, a father figure he was, to still have that love from people like you that's still in his life. So, shouts out to Coach Hal Stewart, man. And see how many coaches on Live Wire, so I want to hear from him a little bit.
Yes, sir. Hey, guys, just one last little thing, and I'm gonna get where he gonna talk. But he taught me, fellas, a good lesson on being appreciative. We were playing, I think this in Gastonia, Ashbrook. My junior year, we beat them real good that night. And Coach Stewart said, they fed us. They were so kind. Coach Stewart said, now make sure you thank them for the food that they've given you tonight. And guys, I was silly. This was before I met the Lord, because I got saved later on that year. I breathed under my breath, for what? And guess what? Coach Stewart heard me. So he said, wouldn't? I heard that. I'll see you Monday. So we got to practice Monday. Won the game. We got to practice Monday. And we went through practice. He didn't say a word. I said, I got away with it.
Got away with it. You
At
forgot.
the end of practice, he said, Wooden, come here. Come here, preacher. No, I wasn't preacher man then. Yeah. He gave me, check this out, guys, 100 breakdowns. Just me. Now, by the time I hit 90, 80 or 90, see, I'm crawling to get back up.
Correct.
I had sand, guys, in places that to this day, I don't know how sand got there. But it was one of the best lessons that I've ever had. And one of the things I loved about this man, and this is what reminds me of God. We talk about God showing his love for us when he bless us, he wake us up in the morning, start us on our way, keep us healthy, give us a home and all that. But another way that God shows his love is that God corrects us. And one of the ways that this man demonstrated his love for me was that correction. And I honor him to this day. And coaches, I'll say to you guys, you leaders, you super guys who own this tonight, and whoever may be watching, don't forget the ministry of correcting. The guy may not like it at the time. He may stick out his lips. He may get upset. But the correction that this man brought me kept the police from having to give it to me. And you know how sometimes they do? They're heavy-handed. He just got me straight. So I've talked too much too early.
No,
I
you
just
didn't.
wanted to say something about this man, who, by the way, is a Hall of Famer. He has been inducted. Y'all know that, right? In the North Carolina Coaches Hall of Fame. I was there that night. He gave a killer speech, and it was an amazing thing to see. I'm gonna be quiet. All right, Coach.
Well, one thing I want to say real quick is a couple of things. Everybody that I've talked to about Coach Stewart or even mentioned his name, he is beloved. He's loved. by every single person. I mean, when we shared this into different groups, there were people saying that, I remember Coach Stewart, and there was like men, women, whoever. I remember he was the coach when I was at school, and everybody was just embraced and was just so happy to see, him on there. And not saying they didn't want to see everybody else on here. I was
Yeah.
just saying, well, for Coach Stewart, it's like, man, that's just a beautiful thing. And by the way, Bishop Wooten, I grew up in Church of God in Christ too, myself, down in Pemberton Temple, North
That's
Carolina.
what.
Guess what?
Man. Brother,
And
we're
Elder
blood.
Turner is who I used to hear about all the time.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. But we're blood, man.
Yeah, we are, for sure. So, Coach Bishop, Mr. Bishop, okay, he's back on.
No, I think he's out, so I'm gonna just take him out till he come back. Okay.
Okay. My apologies. Coach
You're right.
Stewart, talk to us, my man. Talk to us, bringing that in and the amazing introduction you have here too as well. Tell us about what made that. I mean, you got to Richmond County. Where did you coach at before you got to Richmond?
Well, I came to Hamlet in 1970, and
Okay.
so I was there a year and a half. Now I went to Havelock for a half a year, and I remember Mr. Land, Jack Land, the chairman of the school board, called me. He said, "Hal, we got to have you back in Richmond County." He said, "Because the following year we're going to consolidate, and all the coaches we hire at the new high school," he said, "we're going to bring Hamlet and Ellaby and Rockingham and Roehampton together, but all the coaches we hire are going to come from within the county. So we got to have you back." I said, "Well, Mr. Land, I appreciate it, but I'm real happy here in Havelock, and I believe I plan on staying." He said, "Look, just come up and talk to us." And so I went up and talked to him and Herman Williams, who was the principal there at Hamlet then. And they said, "Well, look, we're going to give you a shop class to teach." I said, "Shop class? I can't even hammer a nail into a board. I don't know about no shop class." "Well, look, we're going to have a gentleman there that's going to help you." And so we had a shop class with some young men in there, and we survived it that year. That was since 1972, 73, and of course, in 73 is when the four high schools consolidated and came together. But that phone call from Mr. Jack Land, who was chairman of the school board, that's one of the highlights of my career, because in Hamlet, we called Hamlet the honey hole. But in Rockingham, you had Black Bottom, you had Little Philadelphia. Well, in Hamlet, we had the North Yard, Chicago, Little Chicago, and the honey hole.
Honey hole. Great. Can't hear you, Kev. The sound is cut off. No, can't hear you. Go out and come back in, all right?
Okay, can you hear me now?
No, you're great, Mr.
Yeah,
you're wonderful. You're wonderful. So start us with that the season of 78. Were you guys expecting to win a championship, or you just came together towards the end of the season and made it happen?
Well, I'll tell you what happened the first day of practice, and the preacher man and I talk about this, and the other players. The first day of practice, I told them, I said, back then they played the state championships. They alternated, 1 year being the West, 1 year in the East. And because Richmond County won the East, I said, they're going to play the state championships, going to be played in the East this year. I said, on December the 1st, we're going to walk through that parking lot, and we're going to play for the state championship. And not only are we going to play for it, we're going to win it. That was the first day of practice. Well, I've also had a saying, ain't how you begin, it's how you end. Well, we started the season off 1-2. And our fourth game was, of all places, we were coming to Raleigh to play Raleigh-Sanderson. And so we get up there, we're behind 14-0 at halftime. Ending the game, it was 35-14. And that game started an 11-game winning streak for us. But we had some games that year. If we won by a touchdown, it was a runaway. We'd win by a point. We'd win by 2 points. We'd win by 3 points or whatever. But I remember a game down in Lumberton. We were behind 7-6 with 2 minutes to go in the game. And we made, you see these defenses now, they're in a prevent defense. Well, I call it prevents the team from winning. Lumberton went in to prevent defense. Go down the field. Well, we get the ball. I'm getting fired up now. We get the ball on the 9-yard line, and Coach Bishop and I was swirling a timeout. So we called timeout, but we got one left. So I go out there onto the field, and I tell the boys, I said, look, now we got one timeout left. And, in Richmond County, we were simple-minded. We didn't have all these fancy names for play. We just called it. I said, we're going to run dive left with Chuck. I said, now, if we don't score, we got a timeout left, we'll kick a field goal. Well, this guy beside me, he says, Coach, ain't going to be no field goal. He said, Chuck, you follow me. I'm going to carry you to the promised land. Well, Chuck scores last
preach.
and we beat Lumberton. Ended up being 9-7 with 10-7. Then next week, we play Scotland County.
Now, real quick, I got to ask you this question real quick, Coach Stewart.
The 9th game of the year.
He got a question for you, Coach.
Go ahead.
One thing I heard this rumor that if Richmond lost to Scotland County that year, that the state championship was going to be played at Richmond Stadium, and there was a chance that Scotland would be playing the state championship at Raider Stadium that year.
Yeah, somebody said something about that. Yeah, I remember that.
And in that Scotland County game, Coach Stewart bought some carnations, black flowers, and had them sent to our locker room and told us Scotland County sent this to you. Guys, I didn't realize that
motivation.
I didn't realize there were good people in Scotland County until after I graduated. He had us hating Scotland County. And them guys could play, and those guys would hit hard. Coach, tell them what happened in that game.
Well, we were ahead 6-0. Of course, back then we couldn't make an extra point. So we were ahead 6-0. And we end the game in the fourth quarter, early in the fourth quarter. And our man Rocky Norton gets thrown out. He gets thrown out of the game for fighting. Every time I see a Rocky movie, I think the original Rocky is Rocky Norton. That's it ain't Rocky Balboa. It's Rocky Norton. So we're on the sidelines, and I look around. I said, Chuck, get in there. And I call our defense, 70-goal line. Chuck says, where you want me to line up? I said, get that linebacker. You're going there for Rocky. He got thrown out. And it's a true story now. So they go in, they throw a pass. Chuck picks it off and goes 98 yards with it. So in one play, it turned it around, and we go up 13-0. Mm-hmm. Okay. So then next week, the last regular season game, we beat Lee County 21-13. Now we're getting ready to go into the playoffs. First round game, Bertie County. We ain't never
read about this.
County. They ain't never heard of Richmond County. Bertie's down there close to the Virginia line.
Yep.
But they come down, and I'll show you how small the world is. Their best player on the team was D.D. Hoggard. And guess what? He's a member of the church right here with the preacher man. They're good friends.
Small world.
That's crazy.
We won that game 6-2. But D.D. reminded me. I said, I can't remember about that safety y'all got. He said, man, you can't believe how lucky y'all were, Coach. He said, I dove on the ball in the end zone, and it squirted out, and of course it went out in the end zone. And if he fell on in the end zone, it'd have been a touchdown.
That's right.
Okay, but it goes out. But hey, it ain't over with yet. They get down to the 1-yard line with I don't know, maybe a minute and a half, less than 2 minutes to go in the game, and their best play all year had been a quarterback Sneak, and they had a quarterback by the name of Pugh who went to University of North Carolina, and they're on the 1-yard line. So I say 7-goal line. Preacher man, get them in there. Preacher man goes in. He said, these son of a guns ain't gonna score on us. There's the ball's on the 1. We push them back to the 14-yard line, and the game's over. And then the next week we go in and we play Eastern Wayne. Now you want somebody else to talk now? You want me to keep going?
Hey,
you got it.
I'll let you go.
You is sharp as a whip. You hear me? Cause you know, play by play.
Hey, we missed that passion, Coach Stewart. That passion right there. You fired up already.
Eastern Wayne is in Wayne County. Well, guess where the coach is from? I live less than 5 miles from Eastern Wayne High School. And so I'm going back home, man. You know, I'm returning home for the second round game. They were undefeated. Of course, you know, we had 2 losses. Once again, how you begin, how you end. we get down there, and well, I just mentioned our man Rocky. What happens to Rocky? He gets thrown out of school. What do you think he gets thrown out of school for? Fighting. Andrew Stanback was the backup. He was the backup behind Rocky. And we go down there, and Herman Williams comes to him on Thursday. He said, "Because Rocky's supposed to come back to school on Monday." He said, "Look, Hal, I'm gonna let Norton back in school on Friday." He said, "Now, don't do a lot of talking about it." I said, "You're a smart man." Rocky, he gets in, and I said, "Now, Rocky, something told me not to dress you out, but I'm gonna dress you out. But you stand beside me on the sideline." "Yes, sir, I got you." Well, we go into that game. Rocky doesn't play a single play, but Rocky was like Chuck. He was the coach on the field, and he was right there pulling for the guys and everything. But there at midfield in the second quarter, Eastern Wayne had 4th and 1. And we run a blitz, which we call this guard gap, 0 fire with Andrew Stanback. And he makes a tackle for a 3-yard loss.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But now we win. Well, we got to play. We don't know who's won the other game, but Scotland County's playing somebody. Well, you know who won? Scotland County. So now we got the rematch. Now they got all the motivation of we had beaten them 13-0. Well, we get into the game, and we're ahead 3-0. Frank Smith kicked the field goal. We're ahead 3-0 in the 4th quarter of the game. And I'm telling Kevin about my man Dancing Harold Holden.
Oh, yeah.
John Lester was going both ways. John was playing nose guard, and he waved his hands. He just needed a blow, so I put him in. I put Dancing Harold in, but he danced the wrong way. They ran the play up the middle, and they scored. So now they're ahead 7-3 with about 3 or 4 minutes to go in the game. I said, "Oh my God, what we're going to do?" Yeah, well, it's Chuck Bishop time,
Chuck Bishop time.
We get down, it's 4th down. Frank Smith had been a quarterback all year. Chuck was halfback. Frank got a high ankle sprain, and we get to the playoffs, and he can't play, but he's hobbling around. So we got a 4th down play, and I put Frank in, and we run a pass play. Well, incomplete.
Yes, sir.
Game over. Here comes a yellow flag from heaven. Flag dropped, tracked down. It's roughing the passer. So we get a 1st down. So we're going down the field again, and they get a pass interference call on Rocky Norton. They threw a pass to Rocky, and the guy interfered with him, and so we get another 1st down. Now we got about like 10 seconds to go in the game, and we run 18 sprint. And Chuck's got the balls. It's an option whether you pass or run. Well, he gets down to about the 7 or 8 yard line, and I'm looking at the clock, and it's about 4 or 5 seconds to go. Like he can hear me, and there's 10,000 people. I'm hollering, "Get out of bounds! Get out of bounds!" Well, Chuck keeps running, and I'll never forget the preacher man. And he's seen it all the time now, but back then, you know what supposed to do? Push a guy from behind. But North Cut and the preacher man, they push him into the end zone, and we scored. And it's about 3 or 4 seconds to go in the game. And Coach Bishop says, they said, "Hal, what in the world? Why were you telling me to get out of bounds for?" I said, "I didn't want him to score. I wasn't any time left on the clock." So we had to kick off to him. So we kick off to him, and we held them. And then, it's just chaos. I mean, it's crazy. And we're celebrating. And so now we're getting ready to play the boys from West Charlotte.
Oh, my.
Man.
State championship.
State championship.
Yeah. That's state championship.
First day of practice. We're going to play it right here. We're going to walk through that parking lot, and we're going to win the state championship on December the 1st, 1978. Y'all check your records. You'll find out the date. And so we get, you got to overcome adversity. And, the week, I'll tell you how the week started off. They had an all-conference meeting on Monday night. And I told them, boys can get a little touchy if they don't make all-conference. We had a lot of guys that deserve to be on there. And so they agreed that we're going to release it after the state championship game. Well, guess what? They didn't. So that Tuesday morning, right there in my PE office, Patrick's, the Holiday boys, Jeff and Tim, his 2 buddies. Billy Smith makes all conference. Jeff don't. And Jeff come in, and he was hot. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. You know, I don't know if I'm going to play or not. I'm sitting there, you know, but right-hand man was sitting beside me, Coach Whitfield. You know, Coach Whitfield, I had two right and left-hand man, Coach Whitfield and Coach Bishop. Well, Coach Bishop and Coach Whitfield were both my right-hand men. And he talks to Jeff, and after that, it's over with. Jeff's ready to play. You know, that's what we had. We had a family. We didn't have a team. We had a family. And so we have practice during the week, and something else we had now. These people practice 3 and 4 hours. Not us. We practice an hour and a half. 2 hours was a long practice.
Yeah.
Drink of water here. Getting ready to hear a big story. But another thing I had said that week that we first play of the game, we're gonna run 19 sprint. Because that's towards the preacher man who was our left tackle. He said he excused himself.
Go ahead.
Okay. And so you got me. Okay. All right, let me go back.
19 sprint.
Let me go back before the game starts. We're in the dressing room, and we usually walk up. We leave the dressing room at 6:30 to walk to the stadium. We didn't ride the bus like they do now. We walk up there. Well, guess what? Kokomo Joe, that's his nickname, Bowersock, he ain't there. Bowersock. I said, Rocky, where's Joe? He said, don't worry, Coach, he'll be here. I said, well, I hope so, you know. But hey, I might be a fool when I ain't a doggone fool. So I said, well, we'll be looking till Joe gets here. And so about 10 to 7, Joe comes in there. You remember this, don't you, Chuck?
Yeah.
And he showed he came in there. And so we walk up to the stadium. Now, you got to remember now, West Charlotte is coming into the state championship game with 6 straight shutouts. 8 for the total year, 6 straight shutouts. Well, they're out there on the field, and you know what they're doing? Well, hey, come on out here. Want some, get some. They had to show them off. They holler. The city boys are hollering these country boys from Richmond County. My big job then was to keep the boys from Richmond County from fighting before the game started. Well, we start the game, and sure enough, first play of the game, we run 19 sprint option. Chuck throws a pass, he throws a perfect pass, but it's to the defensive back from West Charlotte, right in his hands. Guess what? He drops it. Well, we come back in the second quarter, and we'll run that play again, and hits Julius Henry out in the flat. Julius scores. Yeah.
You got a reverb on Chuck.
Do what?
You still got me?
Yeah.
Am I back?
Playing at one time, maybe.
Do what now?
That's on them. They got coach.
What?
That's on them.
Yeah. You're fine, Coach. Go ahead, man.
Okay.
There you go.
We scored 6-0. They heard nothing. Ended the half. They had this formation they ran, and we didn't nickname it mule train. It was a power formation. They had this big tailback about 6'3", weighed about 240. Well, they just point and say, look, that's where we're going. Well, they didn't know that we had 70-goal line defense led by the preacher man, Big Shep Dog, and we put the offensive lineman in on that. And we got Chuck playing defense with Rocky and Kokomo Joe from Idaho, the man Joe Bowersock. Well, what they would do with the tailback, he would get up to the line of scrimmage and jump over the line. Well, guess what? Guess who he met in midair? Kokomo Joe. He hits him and knocks him back. Well, they get out and they're pointing again. We're going to run it again. We're going to run it again. They did. And we stop them again. That guy jumps. Joe jumps, knocks him back down. So we go in at 6-0 at halftime. And the preacher man, he had a word of prayer for us at halftime. And so we go back out in the second half. And this is, you talk about poetic justice. You remember I mentioned about Billy Smith making all conference and Jeff Holiday didn't.
Yeah.
Coach Whitfield got it straightened out. Well, Billy Smith makes a tackle on one of their running backs on about that inside their 10-yard line. The guy fumbles the ball, and guess who picks it up? Jeff Holiday. Billy Smith makes the tackle. Jeff Holiday picks it up. He runs it in for the touchdown. And then Chuck ran a 2-point conversion, and we win 14-0. And it's been 46 years ago. And I promise you, man, if we were playing right now, West Charlotte, they wouldn't have scored on us in 46 years.
That's great. Hey, Coach, let me get Chuck in here for a second, all right? Hey, Chuck, your your microphone is doubling. That's why I keep on muting you because you're echoing.
I don't know is it fine now?
It sounds
When you
good.
speak,
Okay. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
sound loud and clear.
Yeah,
All right,
I
good.
can hear.
Is it echoing just my end or what?
no, it's echoing here. It's like you locked them in two different places.
Like your cell phone going and a laptop at the same time? Or the one device?
You're on the cell phone.
I'm on my cell phone.
Okay. And you playing it anywhere else?
You don't have two Safari screens open or anything, do you?
My computer over here. No, it's not on.
Okay. I don't know what it is, but they're going real fast.
Yeah, I'm about to run out of battery on this daggone thing.
But yeah, good for you. The 98 season. Coach said from the first day, you knew y'all were going to championship the first day of practice.
Do what now? I couldn't.
Can't hear me.
Yeah, I heard you, but I didn't understand what you're saying. I mean, Coach said that.
Tell us how that season of 78 went. Coach said the first day of practice, he told y'all that you guys were going to state championship.
Yep, that was our goal. And like I said, it started out kind of slow. We had two close games. I think first game of the year we played East Mac, and I think might have been the defending state champions. And they beat us 3-0. And then I think we beat Durham, and then we played Gastonia Ashbrook again, and they beat us. So we lost 2 out of the first 3, but and then the fourth game we were down, like I said, 14-0 against Raleigh Sanderson. They were a pretty good daggone football team, and Coach let us have it and at halftime and kind of got us fired up. Coach was real good about motivating people and getting us to play, hard and our best. And I think that's what started the onslaught for the rest of the year. We came out and scored 35 unanswered points, I believe, second half. Oh, shoot. Are you still there?
Yes, sir. And
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hold on. I keep going out here to see if I can get back in here.
I can hear you.
It's the laptop.
Well, yeah, my phone fell and it cut my picture off. But you can still hear me, right?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay. But anyway, we had some really good games the rest of the year. Like Coach said, we didn't score a whole lot of points, but we found ways to win. We had a heck of a defense. Offense, we kind of controlled the ball. We played ball control a lot, and I think the defense, we might still hold the record for only giving up, I think, an average of maybe 6 points a game for the whole season, if I believe that's correct.
It was 5.7 points a game, and y'all scored 6.52 points per game. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's what counts.
Great. All right, Coach, let's hear about the season. You was at what game was you on? You was on maybe the last game? No, what Charlotte game? Can you hear me?
I think you lost Chuck.
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you.
Yeah,
You got me
there
now?
you go.
Yeah, the West Charlotte game. Yeah, that was an awesome experience. I tell you, the game before that was a big game, and I think Scotland County, golly, they had an amazing team. But Coach Stewart and my dad, they got us motivated, and I tell you what, we put in a lot of time. I know I did studying film, because Dad knew everything they were going to do. and they knew the coach down there, and they knew what he was going to do. So that 70 defense and just the game plans that we had were great stuff. And
While we're on here, I want to give a shout out to Chuck's dad. He said he was the coach of track and field, and he had some awesome, crazy record. He said at Richmond and Pinecrest. If you don't mind,
yes, he did.
Yeah, his overall individual record throughout his career was about almost 900, almost 1,000 wins and less than 10 losses. Those are like regular meets. He went 10 years at Hamlet High School without losing a track meet, a regular season track meet, not counting regional and sectionals. At Pinecrest, same thing there. He was there 4 years, and he beat, I think Richmond County actually won the state championship one of those years, but he beat Richmond head-to-head there for 4 years. And then when he got to Richmond County on that track, he never lost a track meet at that track. I mean, and out of those 9 or 10 losses that he had, I think 4 occurred in 1 year. Wow. Stuff. So he's
That's crazy.
he was this is counting just like regular season meets. If when you get to the regionals, you're competing against 20-something teams in the state. It might be 60, 70 teams, but it's more individual, scoring and stuff like that. It's not the team aspect of it. But he was a good track coach and a good coach overall and everything. I miss him.
He's a Richmond County legend within himself too, as well as both of you are. I mean, that's amazing. We was talking about some of the people that he coached in track too, as well. Previously, now your dad, he coached a lot of people that gave Mr. Bishop his flowers too, on previous calls too, from the 88, the 89s, the 90 teams. A lot of people was giving your dad their flowers, my man, and we definitely appreciate everything that you all have brought to Richmond County for sure. Bar none.
Let me say one thing.
Coach Bishop.
Say one thing about Charlie Bishop, and this is, I'm gonna watch my language, but it's a doggone shame that he's not in the North Carolina Coaches Hall of Fame. Coach Whitfield and I are fortunate enough to be in there, and George and I have talked about it. It should be Charlie Bishop, then Whitfield and Stewart. But I don't know where this thing goes to, but I certainly would love to see Coach Bishop in the Hall of Fame, because he certainly deserves it.
Coach Stewart, I'll tell you what, we got a lot of people that tunes into this Richmond County Lives that we're doing, and we have gotten some good feedback from some good people, and I guarantee there's somebody watching right now, and we'll make sure we bring this up some more too as well.
Good, thank you.
Yep. My brother and I. Am I on?
Hey, that's me when I mute you, because when we talk, it's double. When you're not talking, I'm going to mute you, okay?
Oh, okay. I got you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, me and my brother are working on some stuff. When Dad passed, he wasn't one of the guys that kind of flaunt his records and everything, and we've got them around here somewhere, stuffed in a storage building or something, and we've got to get everything together and get that stuff to Coach Whitfield and Coach Stewart and to the state. We're got to get down to Myrtle Beach. That's where he lived, and kind of go through some stuff, and hopefully we can get him in that Hall of Fame. That'd be awesome. Be in there with Coach Stewart and Coach Whitfield. They're all three great coaches.
Amen. It definitely will. We're gonna definitely see what we can do to push that. and push that, and hopefully, and we know that somebody's going to be watching that's going to be able to, bring that on. We have so many good legends and people that came through Richmond County as you all have. And there was one thing I want to pivot just a tiny bit to is Coach Stewart. When you left Richmond County, I heard that you had to come back and play Richmond County in the playoffs.
Yes, that's in 1987, and then we played Richmond County three more times after that. But in '87, we were fortunate enough to win 28-24 there in Richmond County. It was a third round game, and that was just a ball game that could have gone either way. And we were fortunate enough. We had a young man by the name of Anthony DeBarber who wore jersey number 43, which they retired here in Garner. But if 43 had been on Richmond County's team, they'd have won. You come across people who are difference makers. I'm looking at one now with Chuck and then Anthony Barber. You come across players like that. And but he was definitely the difference maker in that game. And then we went on the road and beat Northern Durham, and then went on the road and beat another team. Like in '78, we were talking about before the program started, we beat West Charlotte. And at Garner, we beat Charlotte Hardin in Charlotte for the state championship game. And then 2 more years after that, we played. It's 1 year. 1 year I think 19, the year that Mike Thomas was a senior. I think it was 1990. Yeah, it was 90. And we played in the first round, would you believe? Well, at 12 o'clock, there was people from Richmond County tailgating. We in the first round. At 6:30, you had people on the banks. That's the largest crowd we've ever had at Garner for a game. And Richmond County won that night. And of course, Mike Thomas, he's kind of player I'm talking about. He was a difference maker. And he and one of the Ellaby boys was on that team. And,
Flip.
Yeah, I think it was Flip. And they beat us. Then in 1998, this is when they went to the neutral site, but we both teams were undefeated, and we played Richmond County in Chapel Hill, and they beat us. But when I was at Garner, we played Richmond County 4 times, and we were 1-3 against them. And we were very lucky to win that one that we did win.
I had the pleasure of playing with the guys one of the guys from the '98 team from Garner. His name was Elliot London. I had the pleasure of playing with Elliot.
Yeah, and that was a fine running back. He went to that was Fayetteville State, right?
Yes, sir. That's it. Yes, sir. I want to point out something real quick, Coach Stewart, and I gotta say this real quick. I think everybody on this call, everybody's watching live is thinking this. Coach Stewart, your memory is impeccable. Like, you know the plays that was called. What?
It's nice to hear somebody say that because I've been called a country bumpkin, and I have to search for the word a dumb butt a lot of times. But
you know the plays that you called.
But at the ceremony we had for Coach Bishop down there in Brunswick County, people said that. But God give me a gift when it comes to athletics. I've got a pretty good mind. When it comes to arithmetic and English, it ain't too good.
For sure.
Hey, Coach Hal Stewart, could you give me a few tips of being an awesome coach or a coach that's able to relate to his kids? What are the tips or the things that you use during your career that I can use during mine?
Well, kids, they know when you're sincere and if you're real. I mean, I think about the number of homes I've been into, black or white. It made no difference. We all we are, like that song. We are a family. And but I've just once again, it's a gift that God gave me, and about being able to relate and communicate with all kinds of people. And That's the key. It ain't the X's and O's. It's called the Jimmys and the Joes, and that's a gift that I've had. But it's something that it's like for you, John. When those kids really know that you care about them, hey, they'll that extra effort will come out.
They'll run through a wall for you.
They sure will.
Man, that is some real advice. That's real. And Carter, you got that. Just FYI, I'm gonna give Carter, I'm gonna give you your flowers right here. You got that in you already. You know what I'm saying? Amen. That's a real good flowers. That's a really good advice. Man, this is this remarkable story time, and I don't think people knew. I was just, we live in a day of social media to where, we could kind of revert back to some things. And when I'm going back, and there's like a few articles about the 78 team, but we get the best information and the best input from you all there because you all have lived it. So it's not a lot that we can revert back to at that time. But man, what a time to be a Raider. I mean, and changing and setting the tone, the culture when you guys talked about. What are some things that you feel like, you would like to bring back today, when you look at sports overall, or you look at Richmond County, you look at sports, what are some things that you feel like it might be missing from the kids and the coaches' relationship and the kids and the culture and the tradition? What are some things that you guys feel like it might be missing?
Go ahead, Chuck.
Okay. I've coached about 35 years, and I retired a few years ago, but I don't know if it's the hard work or the work ethic people have today. That might have something to do with it. I know football is hard, and but I don't know. It's kind of tough, but the social media thing and the distractions that kids have today, might be a little bit more than what we had back then. I know we didn't have computer games, phones, and stuff like that. So I can just remember as a kid, man, playing ball. That's all we did all the time. We played ball. We'd go to a sand lot or a basketball court or something, anywhere, and just competed. Got out and competed, and then and that's the one thing about Richmond County. When we were kids growing up, our opponents were most of the people in the county, and we competed hard against each other, and then coming together, and after all those years when we were younger, and I think that made us stronger too. We got all the kids from one county, and we're predominantly a kind of rural area. Everybody talks about big Richmond County, got the whole county, but it's spread out, and a lot of country folks, but I just think the distractions and stuff today is a lot more, and I guess they have other activities they want to do more than playing ball.
Correct.
But, what do you think, Coach? I know you've seen
I'm
it.
going to tell you one thing that I've noticed. Nowadays you got, of course, you mentioned about the video games and all that, but you got so many specialists. And you say, well, you get an athlete, all he does is play baseball. All he does, he's just a basketball player. He's just a football player. I'm going to tell you the problem nowadays. The coaches, you ain't got the Bishops and the Whitfields and Stewarts. We coached 3 sports back when we coached. You coached football, basketball, and baseball. And I can remember Coach Whitfield and I coaching Legion baseball. And playing a game at night, practicing football 2 times a day, and then play a baseball game that night. We didn't think nothing about it. I mean, because we loved doing it. It was a hobby that we got paid a little bit of money for it. But nowadays you don't see the coaches where they're coach. They coach one sport in most places. But back in the day we were coaching 2 and 3 sports apiece. And and what did the players do? Like Chuck mentioned, you come up, you're playing ball. You play 2 sports or 3 sports. I mean that's all it was to do. And we enjoyed it, but we enjoyed competing, and certainly we enjoyed winning. And it was just you think about a place. I think about two places: Richmond County and Garner. I remember my daddy told me when I came to Garner. He said, "I will tell you something." He said, "Garner's a lot like Richmond County. You got blue collar people there who work." And I tell you another damn thing: the blacks and whites get along good together. And that right there, that's what I'm saying. It's just that good community atmosphere. I'm not sure how many places have that nowadays.
Yeah,
Coach Stewart, I think you go coach now. I would get fired up a little bit.
Now,
yeah. I definitely believe.
Another thing I wanted to mention about, I'm real glad to see you. I think his first name is Brad Johnson, the new football coach at Richmond Senior High School.
Yes.
He's one of the boys from the Hill. Wolfman, Charlie Davis, downtown Freddie Brown, Herbie Dawkins, the Preacher Man, the Holiday Boys, Eddie McLean. I can think of the guys from over in that part of town. And now I'm real happy to see Brad become the head coach there, and I feel like you get the community behind him and get it going again in Richmond County, where on Friday nights that's the only show in town and the stadium's packed.
Hey, I'm excited, baby. Let's go.
I'm hyped, boy. Like, look, I can. Whoop, you feel me? Sheesh.
I'm ready, baby.
We missed that passion, man. I'm sorry, I gotta say it. We missed that passion that few years.
Well, I tell Brad,
it's in you, like.
This message to Brad. If he wants a defensive coordinator, I'll sell whatever downtown Freddie Brown or Wolfman, and I'll just be the defensive coordinator. He can do it all. Hey, and we'll get it rocking and rolling again.
I know that's right. Yes, sir. Man, this is great.
Sunday we'll bring the Bishop boys, Gary and Chuck. We'll get them a place to stay, and we'll get it going.
The Bishop Chuck had to be getting that 98-yard touchdown interception run back. He had to be able to get it too. Yeah. I mean, that's crazy.
That's a true story.
Yep.
I said, Chuck, get in there.
I don't even pay linebacker coaches. I don't care. You can just grab me in here.
But he mentioned one thing about looking at film. See, his daddy looked at his wife. He looked at both films all those coaches put together. And Chuck, a lot of times at night, would be looking at those films with his daddy. Because I asked Chuck later on, I said, "What?" I said, "Man, that was a heck of a play." I said, "Tell me about it." He said, "Coach, I knew what they were going to do." So me and Daddy looked at it all week. And I knew they were going to, it was a pop pass, where they fake to a running back and try to hit the tight end. But Chuck stepped right in there and got it. And that goes back to that film study that he and his daddy did during that week of the Scotland County game.
So, Coach, during these podcasts, I love to give props to the guys that, don't normally get their names shouted out on the podcast. So who were some of them guys from that 78 team that may not be a star but contributed to the team being successful?
Oh, God. I think about Billy the Kid Smith. He was a two-way player for us, tight end and played defensive end. We had Billy Davis, offensive center. I mentioned these linemen that you don't hear much about the offensive linemen. Chuck, I tell you, our starting offensive line was Billy Smith at tight end, Ship Dog, and the Preacher Man played the tackles, and John Ledbetter and Northcutt played the guards, and Billy Davis played center. But the guys we had on the sideline, I think about Kevin, your brother Jerry. I mean, everybody was into the game. Billy Ray Little and Roy from Ellaby. I mean, it was just a feeling that, I mean, like I say, that song, "We Are a Family." That's what we were. And I think about Randy West. He was a backup snapper, and Randy, I get this, but there was one game playing, and I don't know, our long snapper got hurt, and I said, "Well, look, Randy, if we punt, you got to go in and snap on it." And he said that's the most nervous he's ever been. But somehow we got a first down and didn't have to punt. But to me, the 48th player was just, he's the same as as Chuck or anybody else that started it. Everybody shared equally in the success that we had.
Great.
Coach Stewart, I miss that generation of coach lineage. I always talk about my favorite coach, the best coach I ever had. His name was Ed Emery. I miss that lineage of coaching style, man. I'm sorry, I miss it though. You really just care about your people. You're gonna get the best out of them. You're tough on them, and But I think it's a big thing too as well. And I've talked to Carter about this too as well. When the kids look up to you and you get that buy-in from the kids and they trust you, and you become a figure, a mentor in their life, man. And when you got that type of influence on these kids, and you're able to get that buy-in from them, they'll do anything. They'll run through a wall for you. But they always remember you too. They always remember you. Bishop Wooden said earlier, he said that the ministry of what was the word that he used? Correction. The ministry of correction. And these kids want to be coached, having the kids that want to be coached and the parents to allow you to coach and have that trust to his side. I don't know. This has just been great. And Chuck, hearing so many stories, and people are just constantly talking about your dad right now, Chuck, talking about you and your dad. You know what I mean? And just having that type of passion and that spirit inside of you all and that energy, man, it's infectious. It's a very infectious trait to have, and it's the last of a breed that's on the verge of extinction, where we have people that influences our children and the community and the county like that and bring everyone together. It's just a rarity nowadays. It's just really want to that's just my way of acknowledging, giving you all y'all flowers right now. I just really want
to. We have one of my. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I got to tell this story about Perry Williams. It relates to your parents. Perry's junior year, he moved up to the Baltimore, Maryland area. He lived with his daddy. His junior year, he was going to school at high school in Maryland. Well, I remember Chuck in the summer before the 78 season, Chuck said, "Coach, Perry's coming back. He's going to come back and play for us." I said, "Well, that's good." I'm glad to hear that, of course. Well, in fact, I made a special trip. I went a little bit out of the way. Preacher man was talking about the roads he went on coming here, but I went by. It's North Garner Junior High School now, but back then it was Garner High School. We scrimmaged them, preseason scrimmage in '78. Well, we scrimmaged. We come up here, and Perry had made a late hit on the guy and hit him, and good God, I mean, just knocked him sideways. But it was a late hit, and they threw a flag, and they threw him out of the scrimmage game. Threw him out, ejected him. So I get him down there in the corner of the end zone, and like the preacher man talking about the breakdowns, I don't know how many I given him, but I was giving him breakdowns. Boom, 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 boom. Well, Perry's mama's name was Hattie Mae, and she was sitting over there in the car in the end zone, and just sitting over there, and I hear a horn beep, and Hattie Mae says, "Coach, come over here a minute." I said to myself, "Oh, my Lord, that boy's going back to Maryland." My mama and grandmama are hot with me. I go over there, and I remember it like it last night. Perry's grandmama, Hattie Mae's mama, she said to me, "Coach, give him some more." You ain't gonna hear that nowadays. No parents.
No.
I said, "Thank you, ma'am." I said, "Thank you, ma'am." Well, I'm gonna give him some more, and I give him about 50 to 100 more. But hey, that's the kind of support that you had back then. You relate with the parents. Hey, my son ain't playing. Blah 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 blah. No, hey, we work together, and that's what it's all about. I remember the Rockies daddy, Clyde Norton. I got to meet Joe Byers. I mean, it's just a relationship you have with so many parents. That's what really made it special. But I'll never forget it. Give him some more.
Give him some more.
That's too terrible. That's funny. That's funny.
That was hilarious. Down here in the comments, one of my favorite coaches, Dale Denson, said Chuck Bishop, one of the toughest kids to ever suit up for the Raiders. We'll never forget the hit he took at Skyland and beat the defender up off the ground.
One of my favorite coaches of all time. Just want to say that real quick. Dale Denson. Love you, man.
Remember that play?
I think that might have been my senior year. Yeah, Jeff McGee's a big guy. I played with him at East Carolina, and they punted the balls right before halftime. And I was about on the 10-yard line, and I looked up, and Mark Norton was my blocker, and he's standing about 10 yards in front of me. I saw the guy running down the field. Well, this guy was Jeff McGee. He was about 6'3", about 225, and running about a 4.40. He was on the track team, and Mark said at the last second, he said, "I ain't hitting him." He jumped out of the way, and the guy hit me full speed on sprint down the field, and I went about 5 yards through the air. But I knew I had to get up before he did, so I jumped up and just kind of dropped the ball on him and walked back to the huddle. And their crowd was going crazy, but they kind of quieted. The Richmond crowd went crazy after that. So, but shoot, that year I don't even think they got to go to the playoffs. They were ranked number 1 in the state, undefeated, and we beat them 10-0, and they didn't even get to go to the playoffs that year and stuff. That was 79, I believe.
We don't care. We don't like him anyway.
79, Coach said. He knew for sure.
He's like an almanac. Man, guys, man, we appreciate you all, man. Is there, go ahead.
I want to ask Coach Hal Stewart one last question.
No.
And again, man, thank you guys for hopping on here. Thank the Bishop for coming on earlier. Thank you, Chuck Bishop. Thank you, Coach Hal Stewart. One more question, though. Coach Hal Stewart, what is your favorite game as a coach?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I know.
I'm gonna give you two. Okay.
Okay.
Two games.
I take it.
1978, Richmond County 14, West Charlotte nothing. 1987, Garner 40, Charlotte Hardin 21.
All right.
How about you, Chuck?
Golly, winning the state championship game is always great, but those rivalries with Scotland County, there's nothing like it. I mean, 13, 14, 15,000 people in the stadium, and that 78 team, we had to beat them twice to win the state championship.
That's hard.
And golly, I think they had coach, nine Division I players off that team, or 11?
Yeah, that's a bunch of them.
Yeah. But those were some of the best games, and just being the rivalry that I don't know, is it still like that now? Richmond Scotland games?
Yeah.
For a while, are they still the same conference?
Yeah. Last game of the season every year.
We'll still play them though.
All right, John, let me say something.
Yes, sir.
I got to tell you the truth. I gave that was a good, honest, political answer I just gave you a while ago. Because Chuck mentioned it. If I had to pick one game, if the man come in here, put a gun in my head, and I had to pick one game, it'd be 1978, the third round game against Scotland County. We made that march and went down the field and scored, and that put us in the state championship game. Well, if we don't win that game, you don't get there. There ain't no state championship. But if I had to pick one game, 1978, Richmond County game, Richmond Scotland County game.
I wish I could have been there, man. I know it was crazy. I mean, Richmond, Scotland in the playoffs, like before the state championship. Listen, hear that again. Richmond County, Scotland. Yes, Richmond County, Scotland County, to go to the state championship had to be crazy. It had to be bananas, yo. Like, that had to be nuts.
Yeah.
Would have loved to have been a fly on that wall, or a fly in the stands, however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad those flies on the wall can't talk.
For I want to just give another shout out to y'all. I want to shout my brother Jerry and Brian Jones too as well. They gave me a lot of insight on some things too. They talked so highly of you all and so many guys. The Willie Thomases that was there, the Kenneth Shepherds, the Chuck Bishops, the Coach Stewart. I know you spoke with Jerry too as well. He was so happy to hear from you and talk with you, say with you, Chuck. So I just want to give a huge shout out to all of you all for just paving the way for me to have. When I think about my childhood coming up, I wanted to be a Raider. I didn't want to be anything else. I wanted to be a Raider. And you all are the reason why that tradition started and the reason why we worked so hard through middle school, through junior high school, and to putting on that green and gold with so much pride to the tears before the game and Coach Denson giving us these crazy speeches and Coach Hope telling us, hey, you playing for your community, but most of all, most importantly, you playing for tradition. And guess what tradition started? 1978, when you talk about state championship games and the Richmond Raider Magic. This is the birth of it. This is where it started. Man, you have no idea how much impact that you, and nobody has no idea of how much impact that you all have had on us. This is just, thank you all so much for establishing that in Richmond County. Thank you. For sure. But without further ado, guys, Carl, do you have any more questions or anything?
We could go all night. I'm getting a little tired myself. Been a long day. But I personally represent Richmond County. I love it. Born, raised. I'm here. I don't plan on going anywhere. I want to leave my community better than it was before I got here. And thank you guys for laying that groundwork of a championship mindset, because we all know that football is like life. It's that mindset of hard work, determination, teamwork, and being positive in your community. So it all starts with you guys, you know what I'm saying? So thanks for that. It's been a great night. I want to thank again Coach Hal Stewart, Mr. Chuck Bishop, I want to thank Mr. Bishop Patrick Wooden. I'm sorry. Patrick L. Wooden.
There you go.
Senior. Yes. Senior, yeah. You're probably preaching right now. So,
Preacher man.
Preacher man.
Yeah. John, let me say one last thing.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. Please.
But in 1970, I was fortunate enough to come to move from Jacksonville. I had a job in Jacksonville High School, and I came to Hamlet because of one person, and that was George Whitfield. Now, we all know that George Whitfield is a legend in the coaching profession. But if it's not for George Whitfield, Hal Stewart would have never been in Richmond County. And right here on this podcast, I want to give thanks to him for making that happen, because it was one of the best days of my life when I came to Richmond County. That's what we call Hamlet the honey hole. And I want to thank George for doing that.
Shout out to
Absolutely.
Any last words, Mr. Bishop?
Man, I sure appreciate you having me on here. Golly, brings back memories. That's 45, 46 years ago, man. I wish we could have got more people on to talk. It'd be nice to have a get together with some of these guys. I haven't seen them in a long time.
Always next time. This is real fast.
Yeah. I know, but golly, I'm sitting right here looking at the plaque at all the guys on the team, and there are some of them that are not with us anymore. Frank Smith and Andrew Standback, Moo Lilly. Those are some of the guys that are not with us. I'm not sure if there's Horace Townsend. Yeah, he was on that team. And, I'd like to give a shout out to them. They're no longer with us and stuff, but I loved all these guys, still do. And I love the coaches and Coach Stewart, and we get together every now and then, and I probably need to make a little road trip up there and go to the church again with him. Just don't put me. Last time we were up there, it was Reverend Wooten was getting some kind of a award or something. I can't remember what it was, or anniversary or something. And Coach invited me up there, and then they called Coach down to the front of the stage, or on the stage, and he grabbed me by the arm and said, "Come on, you're going with me." and then I said, "Oh Lord!" I'm sitting in front of this giant church and the congregation, and then Coach starts doing something, and he hands the mic to me and says, "Tell him something, Chuck." And I'm like, "Coach." And, I was so nervous. I talked a little bit about Pat and everything, how he was the preacher man, and we knew he was going to do great things. And golly, I was so nervous. But anyway, after the thing was over in the parking lot, I said, "Man," Coach put me on the spot. This guy pulled up and said, "You did a great job, man. Don't worry about it." I said, "Coach put me on the spot." And in front of all them people, he said, "Nah, you weren't on just on there. You were in front of on national television." I'm like, "Oh Lord." see what's coming out of Richmond County, North Carolina. Daggone. But that was something else.
Thank you, Mr. Preacher, man. It's a real blessing to have you guys on tonight.
Excuse me.
It's been great to have you guys on tonight. We're about to end the podcast, but like I said, thanks for coming on, Kev. Talk to me, Kev.
Man, thank y'all so much, man. We definitely appreciate y'all again, man. God bless y'all. We're gonna do this again though, and we're gonna get everybody on there again. So stay tuned. And you know what would be kind of cool though? It'd be good if we could maybe reach out to Brad, and maybe he can honor the 7-8 team this year. Maybe y'all can have like a small reunion at the stadium. Let's see what he can do. We're gonna put
that
Brad.
great.
That would be a great. I mean, listen, I'll fly in for that.
I think we can honor every year, and then just
we can, man.
Bring the whole feeling back. If you honor every year, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. That would be so dope. So
let's work on that.
Let's figure it out. We can do it.
All right. Once again, thank you, Coach Howell.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Howell. Thanks, Chuck.
Mr. Patrick and Mr.
L. Wooden. Yeah.
Great evening, guys.
Yeah, preacher man is in there preaching right now.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. Have a good one.
Have a good one, Coach. Oh man, what a great one, man. Why am I emotional?
Hey, before we end, run this ad real quick, all right? Commercial.
All right. All right, for sure.
Attention all Richmond County residents. Are you ready to take your fitness journey to the next level? Introducing online personal training sessions from a hometown native tailored just for you. Whether you prefer one-on-one attention or the camaraderie of group sessions, I've got you covered. DM me or send me an email to bdwall23@gmail.com to get started.
All right, I'm running one more time, guys. You guys are interested in getting in shape. Fitness expert.
Attention all Richmond County residents. Are you ready to take your fitness journey to the next level? Introducing online personal training sessions from a hometown native tailored just for you. Whether you prefer one-on-one attention or the camaraderie of group sessions, I've got you covered. DM me or send me an email to bdwall23@gmail.com to get started.
Oh man, I think Carter was able to jump off for a second, but team, this is a great show tonight. I am. You back, Carter?
Yeah, I'm back, brother man. That was Brittany Wall. So if you guys want to get some online fitness training in, she's a local girl, born and raised in Richmond County, and she has a great program for you guys to join. So it's bdwall23@gmail. Holler at her, guys. All right.
Man, what a great show, man. I don't know why did I get emotional? I don't know. I don't know if I got I don't know. I felt like I'm a very desensitized guy at times, so.
We're Raider fanatics at the end of the day, and hear stories about, the original Raiders and the original championship team is incredible. Listening to Coach Howell when he said that not the mama, but the big mama said, "Give him some more." It was hilarious because I can see that happening in Coach House saying. I mean, earlier he said, going into these people's houses and making it more of a family atmosphere and actually loving these kids and showing you tell the man cared. And I think that's what's missing in sports these days is people doing their job, but you gotta care for these kids, man, to get them to respond the way you want to. So shout out to Coach Hal Stewart and Chuck Bishop and the Patrick and
Bishop Patrick Wooden.
Yeah, Preacher Man Bishop, Preacher Man Wooden. But I just felt the energy from Coach Hal Stewart. Like
I did too.
Yeah.
Such a great guy, man. The great men that was on the show today. Some guys that weren't able to jump on, but we're gonna make sure that we get them on next time with Mr. Willie Thomas, Mr. Perry, Mr. Rocky Norton. We're gonna get them on next time, and a couple of other guys, man. And again, I definitely want to take the opportunity to shout out my brother who was a part of that team, and my brother Brian, because they're my brothers. Brian, Jerry, and Corey are the biggest influences in my life. You know what I'm saying? And I love them, man. I love them for helping shaping and molding me into all of the good things that I am, you know what I'm saying, today, man. And, and being and having those type of mentorship and coming from that generation, just elite men is what I say, just men's men.
You're the baby. And how old is your oldest brother?
Oldest brother is 63. And I'm the baby. So there you go. So it's wild. But
he was raised different.
I was raised way different, man. But this was such a great show, Carter, man. I enjoyed this one, man.
Yeah, man. Before we go, man, I just want to say, man, prayers to the county, man. Lost another young man last night. I don't have the answers for what's going on in our community, but I hopefully somehow we can be part of the solution, man, because this is happening too much, and it's like it's not stopping. It's getting worse and worse, and something has to be done. I don't know what needs to be done, but I'm down with being part of the solution, man, and not just talking about it. So if anybody out there got some plans, some ideas to curb this violence that's going on in our town, in our community, reach out. Let's get together and do something, man, because apparently we're not doing enough, man. Because these kids are dying every week now, man. It's sad.
Every week, man. Thankful. I'm definitely thankful for Radio Elite for getting as many as y'all can off and getting them into, saying something active, bro.
Thankful for Radio Elite. Thankful for the jammers. Thankful for anybody
for
out
the
here.
Jammers, anybody's trying.
Thanks to Leak Street. Thanks to anybody mentoring or giving good words to these kids when they see them, because it takes us all. If you see a kid that's young, just talk to him for a second. You know what I mean? Give him some encouragement. He might not listen right then, but hopefully one day it'll hit him. But let's all do our part for these kids, man, because it's a crying shame what's happening to our county, man.
Amen. It is. Listen, we got some good shows coming up, man. I guess I want to give a little sneak peek on something that we discussed before Carter Luck is in fruition. As we do our series of Ball Guys Know It All, when we're going back and we traveling back in time, we got something called the Rivalry Series that's about to pop off real quick too as well. So, some of these rivalries from these 98 teams, I'm just letting you guys know on the inside, it's about to pop off real quick, and I can't wait to get Richmond and the rivalry on at the same time. Carter, it's going to be bananas. I can't wait. It's going to get a little messy. I like a little mess sometimes, so, like a little mess.
At the end of the day, man, we are the culture.
We are the culture.
Raider culture, man. We respect the old, the new, and the future, but we know where we come from. You got to honor the past, man. The present is great, but honor the past because they got us here, all right? We are the culture.
Yes, sir.
We are the culture. And we see y'all watching. We see y'all copying and everything, but that's cool.
Okay, copy, respect.
Respect.
We are the culture, man. We are.
All right, Kev. Have a blessed evening, everybody. You good?
You too, man. I'm good, man. Love you, Richmond County.
All right, man. Be blessed, y'all.
Peace.